Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you see it if I do that?
Yes.
Yeah, it's visible, man.
Okay. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. All right, I'm excited for this. I'll try to keep it short, 20 to 30 minutes, but we'll let everyone roll in as well. So we'll just give a couple minutes before we get started. I hope everyone is having a great day today. Hey, Baggy, you sexy. Strek, let's go. I'm excited for our home call tomorrow.
Yeah, man. Like this.
Beautiful, man. Let's see.
Let's chill it.
Chill it?
Chill it. Let's chill the link in the chat.
Oh, shield the link.
Not chill it.
What do you want me to shill? Tell me what you want me to shill it. I'll shill it. Kind of reminds me of Nogway. Do you remember Nogway's shill it sessions?
I don't remember.
It was on the Twitter Spaces, and he used to run games, and one of them was shill it, where he would propose a very absurd item or something, like a very absurd NFT project idea or whatever it was, and you would be tasked with shilling it. It's like,
yes, I
there's
remember.
yeah. It's like one of them was like, let's say for instance, sorry, let me just stop streaming and restream again.
You know, it was way back when I wasn't even part of Surgeons, and I remember I joined one of those spaces, and you guys used to shill ideas, and I even was a part of it. I remember it was there was a time where you guys shilled the idea of having was I think a memorial NFT or something. I remember
Yeah, I can't
it was that.
remember.
Yeah, it was
I
back
can't
in
remember who's
October.
I do that, yeah.
It was back in
This is
October.
back when this was back when the chair council was around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. Anyways, we'll definitely get started, and then people can roll in. Session's being recorded as well for anyone that to read over it in the future. But I'm excited to get started. So the session today is going to be about branding, and this is because there's so many eager marketers out there that are looking to build up their own playbook and understanding of what marketing really is. Marketing in Web3, I would kind of pin it down to being able to craft a brand, a content strategy that aligns with that brand, and then the additional activities that you do to fuel that growth machine, right? So that comes down to your network, understanding of what strategies and tactics you can action to drive growth, create memorable experiences as well. A great marketer knows how to put together an exciting and memorable user journey. So there's all these different things, but that in essence is how I see the prototypical Web3 marketer role. And what I'm going to go through today is understanding brand, so helping you understand what brand identity is and messaging, and how that looks like tangibly in the Web3 space, as well as maybe taking an example from Nike out of that book. So we will get started building brand with my hi there as well. Welcome to Building Brand. So what is crafting brand? Well, today it's very important that everyone understands the significance of brand, because traditional marketing back in the days, right, when graphic design and UI demand wasn't that high and people were very familiar and comfortable with very, very simple branding elements out there, right? When the competitive landscape of companies wasn't too harsh and globalization hasn't kicked in just yet, local companies didn't really need to create a memorable, distinguished brand because there wasn't that extreme level of competition, tension economy that they had to fight for. But now, since everything is so digital and a lot of operations are online as well, you need to figure out how you can create a unique and compelling, memorable brand that speaks right to your target audience. So the focus of this presentation is to understand the importance of brand identity and messaging in social media marketing, how to tailor your brand message for Twitter and other key platforms. So we're going to dive into some frameworks and build some lasting connections with our audience. Okay. All right. My beautiful diagram here. I promise to you that none of this was drawn. What composes brand? Well, there's just some examples here of what elements and assets to a brand comprise of that entire branding feeling of that company, like logo, what you choose there, what shapes, what colors, what that represents, the color, the typography. What's your mission statement and vision statement? Tone of voice that you adopt on your communication platforms, the values that you embody and ingrain. And most importantly, as well, is thinking about all these different branding elements and how they relate to your target audience, too, right? For example, an alpha group, I'm going to use some Web3 degen examples, all right, just to help draw the connections. Let's say there was a company out there who was focused on helping early career seekers break into their professional career. They might adopt a more professional tone of voice that seems more guiding, informative, knowledgeable, wise, and the helping hand that is dependable to navigate this deep, complex, confusing ecosystem, right? Surgeons to its audience, because we understand our audience, well, our core users. There's many different segments of users that we have, but one of the core people that we want to serve with the products and services that we have are those people that are struggling to make sense of the space, struggling to get that next job, don't know exactly what that playbook is to progress and accelerate the career journey. That's what they need as a brand. Someone who has a clear vision and mission statement that compels them to think, okay, this is the place I want to be. So yeah, brand identity refers to the collection of all these elements that a company creates to portray the right image to its consumers. Okay, so it encompasses both tangible and intangible aspects that shape how the brand is perceived. Let me give you another example. A lot of alpha groups, for instance, understand that their ideal audience are your degenerate people that are looking for quick flips, make trades, flip. So when you look at these different project pages and the tone of voice they adopt, the vernacular that they use in their copy, the feeling and the questions and the insecurities they expose out of their audience, it's very consistent. Are you missing all your 10x flips? Are your friends making that 100x meme coin flip and you missed it? Blah, 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 blah. Well, this is the place to be. So as a function of creating good brand and even developing these brand assets and a branding strategy, you need to understand who your target audience is. If you don't understand who your target audience is, how do you know what to create and who for when you don't understand their needs, their challenges, their pains? So understanding your target audience is a foundation of effective brand communication. By knowing your audience's preferences, needs, and pain points, you can create messages that resonate with them. How do we get there? You can do surveys if you want. It's pretty dated, not too common in Web3, but my favorite one is social listening. What that is getting into the VCs or monitoring chats, asking questions, prompting, chatting, and seeing what insights, feelings, pain, desires you can extract from that. And then data analysis too. There's so many other data collection formats too, by the way. Like you can do interviews, blah, 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 blah. Competitor analysis as well. But then what you do is you get all this data and understanding and insights from these different methods of data collection, and you create user personas, right? So like based on this ideal target audience that you've roughly got, who are they actually? Do they fit into a couple categories? And if they can, what are they? Because if you understand who your personas are, then you can start to launch a very informed and tailored marketing strategy to connect with these people deeply. And when you think about marketing, you're competing for a pool of people that hundreds of other brands and companies are also competing for. So you need to find a way that you can cut right through and create a meaningful, unique effect with that audience. How can you stand out against them? Well, then you might need to ask yourself, okay, about this user that we're serving, what deep pains do they have that I could speak to? So buyer personas, which is what I was talking about before, you can call it user personas, you can call it your people, your members. They're fictional representations of your ideal customers, okay? Based on real data and research that you've done. It considers demographics, interests, behaviors, goals, challenges, and pain points. But what's really interesting is that you can then further develop specific personas. Oh shit, someone's doing that And what the fuck? Okay, and what you can do is you can develop specific personas to target different segments of your audience too. If I give you, and I'm gonna ask the audience here, all right? So whoever unmutes, you're gonna get a bunch of points, okay? All right. Within Surgeons, what are 3 personas that you can call out immediately? 3 specific personas, because there are a few different people in here, different types of members. Go. Someone unmute. Just name one. Just name one. Have a crack at one.
Agents,
Founders.
Yeah. Founders,
Professionals.
yeah.
builders,
Professionals.
Content
Okay.
creators.
Wait. Oh
learners,
shit.
Founders.
Okay. All right. That's a
Students.
lot. Okay. Who said founders? Who said founders? That was a
I
good
did.
one.
I think it was
yeah,
Yumi.
You? I
No,
think Ella did as well. So
Yeah,
Ella.
LA did. I said professionals.
Okay, so I'll go to you after
Yeah.
you. So Ella, with the founders, right? We've got these early stage founders and surgeons. Let's build a persona of these people. What do we think are their needs? If we boil down the early stage founders that we have here and the connections, if we were trying to develop a product or a brand for them specifically, what do we think their needs are? I mean, immediately just to get the ball rolling, early stage founders probably need advice because they're on a journey that is very challenging and difficult. It's going to test them and they need someone that's been on there already. What else? Someone go. What else are the needs of early stage founders? I would say talent, people to
So
bring
I
onto
have
their core
worked
team.
with Dima on a project,
Mm-mm.
and you know what he did was he basically hired a lot of people from the surgeons only for the deadly. So I believe, you know what most of the early project founders like want from the surgeons is mainly connections and network.
Yeah, 100%. And where do these needs come from? What are their challenges? Well, I think like to get the ball rolling there, these early stage founders find it very difficult to build trust in the space as well. When they're finding early hires in Web3, fuck, I can't imagine because I started off with 3 IRL friends in Sydney, right? Mia, Esteem, Joni. For early stage founders that might not have that IRL contacts they can build with and finding immediate first hires in Web3, that is fucking challenging. It requires a lot of trust. So that's definitely one pain, right? Like finding that quality talent that you can trust. What else? I would say early stage founders need signals. They need insights. They need feedback. They need people that they can go to ask for unbiased, raw, direct information and feedback about their project, input, ideas. Yeah, advisors do, but also one thing that we know for sure, Banana, is that 99% of advisors in Web3 are full of shit. It seems like there's more advisors than operators in this space. I mean, Yusuf, you're not full of shit. What? So so even then, it's how do you get connected with a reputable advisor that won't just scam you and tell you, you know, a playbook that might have existed back in the bull market and drain you of your funds. That's another one for sure. Web3 advisor, 100%. So
Especially the
it's
advisors on LinkedIn.
Yeah, the LinkedIn ones. And even the bad ones cost a lot. Yeah, you get 4 figures, 5 figures, who knows? Then so that is like that persona, and see how we've created a category that now a bunch of people, insurgents and in Web3 can fit into. And the more that you build out the definition and the nuances of that category, the more you understand that person intrinsically. Like I understand all the pains and challenges. I understand this person better than they understand themselves. That's where you need to go, right? Okay. Then we have the professionals. I think Yumi I said that. The professionals out there, I would say one of the emerging specific personas and surgeons are your early career professionals too. People just trying to break in, getting their first couple of jobs, trying to build up their resume and portfolio right now. You know, their challenges at the moment, is that they're not certain as to how to break into this behind the scenes job market that is very prevalent in Web3. Job boards, applications, things like that, they're not too professional and common in Web3. Most of the things are done behind the scenes, referrals, handshakes, etc. And when an early professional is breaking into Web3, it's hard for them to get into that network. So that's a big challenge for them. What else is a painful challenge for these people? Well, the roles in Web3 are very novel. They're nascent. They're new. They're not well defined. Playbooks don't really exist for them. They're ever changing. You know, collaboration management emerged at the end of the bull run, but who knows if that role might even exist in a year's time? It might completely disappear. The space changes very fast, and we need to be agile. And these people, these early professionals, need to understand and have people to look up to be able to learn about the emerging in-demand roles in the market right now. So as we build this persona, we can start to understand exactly what the challenges are of this specific sub-persona that we're building, the early professionals, and how do we do that? We keep connecting with these people, bring them into Surgence, connect with them outside on Twitter, talk to them, do social listening, and then bring all that insight back to our database to build our personas further, right? And then there's a few others insurgents that we can go through, like our degen traders or whatever, but we don't serve them too well at the moment. Alphabot has become a term.
To be honest, I have never looked at the call section at Insurgents ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
my
it's
brother,
like an additional utility.
yeah, my brother, I'm sorry to disappoint everyone as well. Like I haven't traded for what, like 6 or 7 months now. It's just fucking oh. And what was it? Like last year people were ranking us as an elite alpha group and we were just like, what the fuck? Why? Our trading is interesting. But anyway, so an example is Amar, our legend. And by the way, buyer personas, user personas are far more high fidelity than this. I just wanted to do a quick summary to get you into the frame of mind of it. But if you search up user persona, buyer personas, whatever it is, on Google, you'll see very detailed personas that startups create to represent their customers. Hello, I'm Amar, the job seeker, young professional striving to break into a career in Web3. I love tech, creatives, and community building. I find it hard to break into a paid Web3 career. People keep fading me, don't know where to start. This is back then, by the way. Now he's in demand. My goals are I want to build an income in Web3 and become a competitive community manager. So what does he need to get there? Mentorship, skills development, networking opportunities, and job opportunities. So now that we understand our target audience, we can start to figure out what our brand messaging is and that appeals to these target people. And just before I get to that, I'll just read out this statement to you. So brand messaging is a central theme or idea that a company communicates to its target audience. It is the essence of your brand's identity and what sets you apart from competitors. It's a derivation of your target audience challenges and needs. And it's a pointer towards their desires to be state, where you want to take them and where you as a brand want to push the world towards as well. Surgence serves early professionals that find it hard to break into Web3 opportunities. Surgence strives to onboard the next wave of world-class operators and founders into the space and propel them towards career and building success, right? So there's that, okay, the challenges, considering that, what are we going to structure our brand around? And if I go all the way back, that's where we start to build out the mission statement, the vision statement, our tone of voice, and our values. Okay. Values, by the way, is a very important one. There was this point in time where the Surgence community values were wild. And that's because we were serving a couple of things at once. Like we were trying to serve this very wide spectrum of people. On one side, we were putting equal emphasis on the traders as much as our early professionals. And holy shit, the community was very fucking confusing day in, day out. Degenerate traders coming in, VCs and chat, And then builders coming in and trying to talk about building, and it just created such a mess for us. And people's experience kept getting compromised, and retention wasn't that great, etc. And then I guess that's when we pivoted to Surgeons and continued to build Surgeons out and crystallize who we were actually wanting to serve and the challenges and the solution we wanted to provide. And that's where we said, okay, like this builder professional persona, that's who we want to obsess over and support for these specific reasons. And then we established our values of collaboration, co-creation, supporting your peers, empowering each other. And we try to push that through all of our announcements and some of our daily reminders so that each of the members understand that. It's very clear in the application and onboarding process. We make it very clear through our initiatives and events. We try to encourage that. We try to incentivize that actually through drops as well. Anyways, it's funny how once you understand your target user and you start to frame your brand and your brand's goals, a lot of your activations and initiatives that you plan out are so much easier and purposeful because they all point to the same destination. So brand messaging can be comprised, and you can do an exercise of this actually by yourself because everyone has their own personal brand. Define what your value proposition is for the people that you serve. If you're a copywriter like Yusuf, wait, Yusuf, you here? You got your microphone? Yeah. If you're an emerging copy content writer like Yusuf, it's making content calendars for people, what is your value proposition for your ideal audience? Your ideal audience are your founders, your projects. So crystallize what you can bring to them. That's also different against others. Differentiate yourself. What's your comparative advantage, Yusuf? It's a storytelling. It's your understanding of building strong, compelling messaging for brands. Then also practice your elevator pitch. Create your brand story, and then have a very strong tagline as well. I'll come back to the Nike one. Actually, no, but yeah, we can dwell on the Nike one. But before I do that, does anyone have any questions? Oh, wait, I should be checking the VC chat. Is there any questions in the VC chat that I missed?
I'm kind of curious, do you have like any books or any specific content you learned from yourself?
This is amazing question, man. I'm gonna be honest, bro. Like, apart from the 1 or 2 courses I learned in university in my first year, I haven't read any books on marketing. But that being said, where I learned a lot of marketing and branding exercises was in startup land, in Web2 startup land. The opportunity to work at a high growth startup, especially in Web2 or Web3, is insane. Especially if you have like veteran founders and managers that are able to teach you the ropes, because I learned everything from there. However, there are like amazing content that you can consume on YouTube and books out there, but I haven't touched any, although I should. If anyone has any recommendations for books about brand building, marketing, etc., please put them down. Sorry to disappoint you there, Regsen, but all learn on the job.
No worries at all. I was kind of suspecting that you're more the hands-on kind of guy.
Yeah. Yeah, no. But in Web3 though, it's so easy to put it into practice. You can read, and I definitely recommend going onto like YouTube and HubSpot. Oh, bro, HubSpot is pretty undervalued as well. Like, people should go to HubSpot to do just basic learning there as well. To read up on go-to-market strategies and branding playbooks, because these things would help you become a better marketer instantly and a better team player as well. Because a lot of Web3 is about picking up a product and understanding how to how to launch it effectively into the market, right? Because we're on such a short time frame. Everyone moves so quickly. 90% of products are time sensitive and rely on hype, and it's all about effective launch strategies. And that's I definitely recommend going to HubSpot and searching up maybe go-to-market playbooks, sales and marketing playbooks. Oh, actually, sales and marketing playbooks. Definitely search that up too. I'll show you that right now. I'm going to send a link in the chat for you. So HubSpot actually has a lot of marketing and sales playbooks in there that anyone could just download and pick it up and start building their company with. And they're actually really good. Like, it's a great place to start. You should try to improve it. I just sent the link in the Discord, but like for one of the startups that I was working at, we used some of their resources as well, because we were part of their startup incubator program too. Yeah, it's insane. Their playbooks are amazing. It's like university condensed, but better. They also have sales playbooks too, and everything else like branding, go to market playbooks. I'll send the sales one as well there for anyone who's looking to put together like a sales strategy. This shit is gold, man. You download the framework and they've just got a template for you to just build out. Yeah, I use that like crazy. So I was lying, Rigsen. HubSpot was my best friend when I was learning for the first time. Shub, to be honest, if your objective is to learn as much as possible, look, I would say any startup in Web2 or Web3, but I think the key term here is startup. A lot of the projects that we work for in Web3, I wouldn't really call a startup as the ones that we typically lean towards. Because like a startup usually has a very, like experience management, even in the early stages, some experience management coming in that have worked at many other startups, a founder there that is like a complete nutter, really good team culture, playbooks, resources, weekly education, daily stand-ups. Like, it's a full-time job, right? If you can get yourself in a company, whether it's Web3 or Web2, where it's a full-time basis and you're able to learn from someone every single day, that's the ideal scenario. And that could be Web3 or Web2. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I feel like Web2 startup can provide me a lot of exposure compared to a Web3 startup.
It's interesting because like the skills that you would learn there are definitely I don't know, man. It's interesting because what I've learned from working on Web3, there's so many benefits and nuances that I picked up that have helped me become a better builder that I wouldn't have been able to learn in Web2 as well. There's benefits and cons to starting off on Web2 or Web3. Each to their own. I guess it just depends on what your passion is and what your long-term objectives are with your career. If
Yeah,
you want to
makes
stay
sense, man.
agnostic and really want to like have a good footing in Web2, I would say that it's probably essential to start off on Web2 then. But if you're like fully into that digital frontier of tech mindset, well, fuck it. Do whatever you want. Build shit, break it, connect, have fun. And that's a go, right?
Yeah, man, I think both have their own pros and cons.
Yeah. One of the other things as well is you can do both. You can pick up a gig in Web2 and also try and balance Web3 on the side. However, you won't be able to do it for too long. It
Yeah,
gets
man.
pretty unsustainable if you're trying to go both really hard and things will start to fall apart.
Yeah.
Oh, Nessie does both, and I don't know how she does it. Are you managing yourself well, Nessie? How long have you been doing both for? Because I was trying to do both for 1 year and I fell apart hard. Like
18 months so far. Been doing both.
Holy shit!
That's pretty
So,
awesome.
yeah, I bet. But Nessie has got it down to a T. Her routine's probably like right on point.
I have a
Disciplined.
routine. It is 100% true. Totally have a routine. It's the only way. I have a set routine. I
bullish, man.
can't do it any other way.
Yeah, super bullish on you, Nessie. Some say just
Aw,
start
thanks,
and you get
Ruthie.
your
Bullish
knowledge
on you
through.
too.
I appreciate it. Just start and you'll get your knowledge through actions and experience. So it'll be stupid to start without knowledge, at least something. Yeah, I mean, Chris, so that's where like for instance, the first role that I got into it in a startup was actually sales. Then I went into marketing. Then I went into product management, and then I went into product owner. Bro, I didn't do a single bit of coursework before any of these roles. But I think what is really important is having a good like a foundation of how business operates, the different functions and what they're responsible for. So definitely doing high level research on the different roles and their responsibilities and operations and strategies and all that. But then you learn 90% of your stuff on the role. The most important thing is the attitude that you take to work, the willingness to learn, the way that you soak up information from others, stay proactive and practice what you preach. That's where the real value comes in. Organize in what ways is having a calendar for each minute of the day? Fuck, I hate calendaring. I
No,
created
I'm
a
not.
Calendly, which made me organized and also hate life at the same time. But it's necessary for me.
Yeah, I
Oh,
hate Calendly as well, and I don't do it that way. Doesn't work for me.
T is following Nessie around like a ducky to learn. All right, wait 1 second. Let me address some branding stuff above. So yeah, okay, yep. Put in your emails for HubSpot. Definitely get around to it. You need to present things you want to present. Okay, I think we covered enough. Okay, I will get back to my slide deck. Cool. So with Nike, for instance, when you look at Nike, what do you feel when you wear Nike? Do you feel empowered? Do you feel like an athlete? I kind of don't, but I bet you a lot of people do. When they put on a nice oh, well, actually, I lie. When I put on some nice Nike kicks, I feel gangster. I feel crazy. I feel like I'm about to own the world, you know? And I feel like I'm actually cultured wearing my Jordans. I feel cool. And I guess that's like the brand feel that Nike has architected carefully. Through understanding what our needs and desires are as individuals to stand out, to be cool, you know, we all want to present ourselves well, whatever it is. They want to serve that with these kicks, with these products that tie into that really nicely, right? Yeah, so there's so many case studies out there about Nike and Airbnb. It's funny, like Nike's tagline, for example, is "Just do it." And when you think about Nike, if it was a person, it's probably that person behind you, like Shia LaBeouf, that's just screaming at you, "Just do it, man! Like you got it." That's what they're trying to be. Yeah, so remember that your brand messaging should be consistent across all communication channels and align with your brand identity. Sometimes you can see that. Oh, actually, this statement, I would like to actually challenge myself as well, because if you look at Pudgy Penguins, they have two separate audiences they're trying to serve. You know, one on Twitter and one on Instagram. On Instagram, they're trying to serve people that desire fun, engaging, uplifting content, right? With that sort of content, the cuteness that they provide. But then on Twitter, they're focusing it more such that they're speaking to a board of investors, providing updates on upcoming initiatives, event appearances, upgrades to utilities. And it's interesting how they've recognized that on Instagram, they have an opportunity to reach a huge addressable audience with their IP. And then on Twitter, it's connecting with your investors and building the market cap of your company up, right? So yeah, definitely thinking about how you would use different channels and for what kind of audience you would connect with on there and the different content that you'll put out. Because the content you'll put out on Twitter would be different to Instagram, different to TikTok. But you need to at least make sure that it all aligns with your brand identity. So each social media platform has its unique characteristics and audience behaviors. And then to effectively connect with our audience, we must tailor our brand messaging specifically for Twitter and then other key communication platforms too. Hopefully that makes sense. Nope. Okay, beautiful. All right. My amazing cropping skills and formatting in the perfect way, most perfect way possible. But for instance, you've got these 3 projects. Marketing, whatever they're doing, who do we think their target audience are? FYI, see this one at the bottom right? That's actually Yusuf. Congratulations, Yusuf. Let's go. Oh, he's left. Oh, no. It's all right. He'll come back soon. But Alpha, traders, degens. You can see with Underground, for instance, with their copy, they take a very professional route with their copywriting. They want to create a very premier brand that is so exclusive and underground. They're not going to do any emojis. They're not going to do any capitalization or hashtags. Now, fuck that. We're doing plain text. Guide to reading smart contracts. Reading contracts and minting through Etherscan is a skill that most experienced minters have mastered. No exclamation marks, no nothing. That's it. That's their brand, though. That's actually a design choice that they've made. Think about that. They could have tweeted in any way possible. They could have bolded the first line and done all capitals, the new smart money, or reading smart contracts, how to do it. No, they didn't. This is the brand that they want to maintain. This is the way that they want to speak. That's the tone of voice they want to adopt. See how when you look at a piece of tweet from a company, you can actually break it down so many levels. Everything, well, mostly, like with the good companies with a great marketer behind them, there's a lot of design decisions that are happening in the background, right? Then you can see, for instance, with Canto Labs, understanding that traders are very sick of the bear market and always making L trades, they led into that with the first line there, making L trades and blaming it on the market. So Canto Labs understands exactly who their target audience are, the people that are failing out there with their trades. And then pushing the brand messaging out there. Canto Labs is all about helping their members print. And then you've got also Sensei up there too. The other one is that I was talking about is the tagline, right? So there's 4 companies here. Each of them do something slightly different or very different, but they're all pointing towards the same audience: professionals, career seekers. Scaling, creating and empowering the next generation world-class operators and founders in Web3. Surgeons, a leading Web3 entrepreneurs hub that powers builders and companies. Seeker, powering the Web3 workforce, over 300 successful placements and counting. Rethinkable, the Web3 professional network, 10K plus active users, whatever. You know what this showed me? That everyone is so similar in the space with their taglines and branding when they target the same audience that I need to do a better job at standing out. So keep an eye on the surgeon's bio and see what we can cook up with. But it's very interesting when you start to compare, like Seeker, for instance, fundamentally very different business to surgeons. They're building a recruitment platform. We're building a network of talent, right? An agency behind that. Yet, because we point to the same people and generally have the same goal of serving these needs of our audience, our brand messaging could be pretty similar too. Anyways, so what do we see here then? Seeker, a world of Web3 opportunities awaits. You at Seeker. Don't miss out. I guess Morgan understood that the audience that he's looking out for are these people that are desperate for jobs in the bear market as well. Surgeons, what is a secret formula to securing Web3 work? Hint, it's no secret. And then showing testimonials there too of our members and their success. Rethinkable, 19 jobs popped up on our platform over the last 7 days. We put them all into a neat little list for you. One thing that you would see is that each one of these companies and their posts, the brand identity, the messaging, the tone of voice, everything is consistent. Anyways, this is that brings me to the end of the presentation for today. I just wanted to touch on brand identity and brand messaging for you all. But we'll definitely network of talent. It sounds great. Yeah, definitely going to do more marketing sessions in the future. We're just building blocks one at a time, right? Next up, what are we going to do? Copy, content strategy, framing USPs, and a very nice narrative. 100%. I think what we'll do is next one, I'm going to create a template on Notion of what a content strategy is, how I plan out my marketing plans, keep it empty. And then I'm going to create a hypothetical project and we're going to build a marketing plan for that project together. Exactly how I do that. Who would be interested in that? Otherwise, I won't do it. Fuck it. Say it in the events.
Yes, please. I want to do that.
Okay. Are we interested? All right, we'll do that. Right, Sen, interested? No. All right, we'll get to it. Banana. Hey, Banana, it's good to see you again. I appreciate you. We haven't played Mobile Legends yet. Unbelievable. Next time. I appreciate you. What are we getting? Marketing plans. When are we getting it? Now. Okay. I actually have a client meeting right now, I think. So I've got to hop off to that to catch up. But yeah, I mean, before I go though, any questions? Wild Rift. I play Wild Rift a lot. Lupin, can we play together, man? I want to play. You need to add me on Wild Rift. Chris, 100%. Let me just give you an overview as well, right? Bit of alpha. Kickstarting a project just this week, and we're doing a few things for them, mostly centered around growth, making them, drumming up as much noise for them, bringing them as much attention and an audience in there, crystallizing that brand identity and message, and then also aligning that with a community operation so that that funnel is healthy. People are coming in and retaining, right? And so there's a marketer role in there. And as a marketer, yeah, you gotta understand the brand, frame it in the right way, understand what the USPs are, do your research to understand what the value prop is. Okay, who are we targeting? What kind of language do we need to adopt? Okay, let's break it down into the social media content strategy. Are we going to take a more storytelling approach or informative approach? Are we going to switch it up? When are we going to do it? How many times are we going to post a week? What language are we going to use? Emojis, do we use them or not? Hashtags, definitely no. Long form tweets or threads, etc. Like so many design decisions in social media content strategy. Okay, but once you plan that out and finish it out, what else can we do to market the project? Who do we reply to in the comments? Do we want to build a social media community there? Do we comment on KOLs that align with our project? Other gaming projects to connect with them? Do we try and play into that intercompany reply game that people do out there, right? What other marketing activities can we do to drive engagement? How can we synergize with collaborations, with community? Can we run community generated content challenges to grow the awareness of our audience? Can we tee up mega spaces with partners and people in our network? A mega space to drive a narrative that we are knowledgeable and a thought leader in this particular space of maybe GameFi. There's so many different things that you can do to market a project. And this is all Web3, by the way, because then there's also that element of Web2. Do we use Instagram, TikTok, short form marketing? Does it make sense to bring our product there? Anyways, and then you have all these activations there. You got to line them up on a timeline and figure out, okay, when are we going to do what and how do they evolve over time? So it's going to take a few sessions to go through, but I'm definitely excited to start my the next one next week about the marketing plan. I think I accidentally built the Judgment T community. You know what I mean? Judgment T, I love that one. Or thanks. Us too. Marketing plans, let's go. I want to see how this develops, please. Okay, let's do it. I'm gonna rush off to my client meeting now. I'm gonna catch up with someone, see if we can get a few more jobs out for surgeons. Oh, that being said, actually, we have a community manager position opening up soon for a client, so keep an eye out for that. Another one. Lupin was a great applicant for the previous one. We got another one coming up, so definitely keep an eye out on the job board for that if you're a community manager. Mia, I'm gonna hop off now for a bit to do my thing.
Good job, Ruthie.
Oh, thank you, Nessie. I appreciate you.
Alright, catch.
Thanks for the session, Ruthie. It was great, man.
Oh, good man. Hey, you gotta make Mia sound more alive. She sounded a bit dead.
I was creating a video. It took me like 30 takes to create a 2-second video of my own. Oh, and there he goes. He always goes.
To all the people here, Mia is our very own voiceover artist.
I should become the next Siri for